see is straight ahead. Sorry, just some computer stuff. All right. So if you're only looking ahead and nothing else, we need to make sure we're looking all around peripheral vision. So just curious. And so I know I'm the big screen here. How do I still see everybody else doing it? Just curious, because I like to see some hands and things like that as I go. Sorry, Maria's helping me out here.
Fred, I just put you on spotlight to make you big for everyone. Do you want me to change that and then
No, make me big for everybody. That's perfect. Maria can help me out. Now I can see everybody and I'm big for everybody else. Perfectly fine. No, you're good. Yep, awesome. All right, cool. So just a quick show of hands for my people. So like I said, some people I can see, some people I can't. But show of hands, does anybody run at all? Anybody go running? Just curious. All right, cool. Hands down. All right, so a couple things we talk about when we're running, and not even running, just when you're out or whatnot. Making sure headphones is a big part of when you're out and putting and you're running, the earbuds and things like that. And I always say, I don't tell you not to wear headphones. I prefer you not to. I always say, if you cannot wear them, that's great. Because once again, when you're putting something in your ear and you're listening to music, that's blocking out some of our senses right there of not being able to hear what's happening around us. Somebody coming up from behind, from the side of us, you never hear them, right? You have to be able to, you might not be able to see it, not be able to hear it. So I do say, if you have to run with music, I get it. I understand, right? Get something to motivate you. Maybe put one ear in, one ear out. All right. So you could still have a sense of what's happening around you. Whenever you are running, try to switch up your route as well, not being consistently taking the same route over and over and over again. Because once again, if somebody is kind of watching us, stalking us, all right, they're looking for patterns and they know every morning, 8 a.m., Marcy's on this route right here, right? She goes this way, she goes that way. Easy to follow. Switch it up, mix it up a little bit. But when you mix things up, make sure that you know where you're going. Don't decide out of nowhere, I'm going to take an adventure today. I never went this way, or I'm going to cut through these woods here, or whatever. I'm going to go, hiking on this trail or whatnot. Don't do things alone, and try not to do anything alone anymore. It's one of those things. And obviously I understand that, we have no other choice for those situations. But if you can always find a partner to do something with, numbers are safety. All right. So things that we talk about predators looking for, and it's the number one thing, like I just said, not being aware, kind of being buried in your phone. All right. Walking, cell phone in hand, looking down. Walking and looking confused, right? Say you're lost and you're like looking confused. Once again, they're looking for easy targets, somebody not paying attention. Okay. That's very, very important to just make sure we're not buried in our electronics and we're actually connected to what's going on around us. Does that make sense to everybody? Right. And once again, these are like mostly, and I say this all my self-defense seminars, everything I pretty much am saying, it's not groundbreaking information. It's not like, oh man, that's genius. It's just kind of common sense stuff, but it's good to be reminded of these things. All right. Even though you're like, yeah, I know I should do that, but I don't do that. Maybe I should start trying to do that a little bit more, things like that. And we'll also talk about just like being out at restaurants or being with family members, whatnot. We're going to talk about different situations that, once again, like I said, if a bad situation were to happen to us, hopefully it never does, right? We might not be able to prevent it. Not everything's preventable. But our goal is, with the mental part of martial arts, is to lower those percentages. Okay, if that makes sense. Anytime I'm talking, if anybody has any I'll save questions for at the end. But if you really have something and you wanted to ask me anything as like the topics are going forward, please feel free to do so. Just give a hand raise or unmute your screen and and then I can have Maria, my techie, kind of get you on the screen so I can talk to you. I'm not very techie like. So anytime you have any questions, no problem there. First thing I want to get started is, and we're going to go back, we're going to do some physical stuff and we'll talk more. And that's how my seminars go. Back to talking, doing some physical. If you're able to do things and move around, fantastic. If you can't, Just watch, pay attention. I'll Miss Maria demonstrate some things and we'll go from there, and other people can practice as well. First thing that's important is having a physical boundary. So if somebody, always remember, let me adjust this as I stand up here. Are we still good seeing us? Good? Okay, cool. Physical boundary is very important. So can you stand there for me? Thank you, Maria. Anybody that makes me feel uncomfortable should not be within 2 arms length of myself. So right here, if this person is to me and she makes me feel uncomfortable, this is too close right now. Okay. I want to be, move back a little bit more. Thank you. I want to be 2 arms lengths away from somebody that makes me feel uncomfortable. Couple things we have in self-defense. The first thing we have is verbal, right? We have our verbal warnings. Anytime we're talking to somebody and they make us feel uncomfortable, you have to put a stop to it right away and right there. And how you want to talk to somebody is you want to talk, you don't have to go screaming right away or yelling or start a commotion right away, but you have to make sure you're talking strong, you're talking confident, you're being serious, right? And you're looking that person in the eye. Now, as things, if anything, if they're not listening, they obviously, all right, or maybe have bad intentions, maybe just don't get the hints, maybe just don't understand, right? And I always say this, most people in this world are generally very nice people, right? I would say so much, like anybody you run into, most people you run into, 98% of the people are generally nice and want to help out. But that 2%, that's not a risk we should be willing to take, right? So what I mean by that is don't be afraid to be rude to somebody if they make you feel uncomfortable. If that's, and you can't go, well, I was just trying to be nice, or I just, you know, he was being nice to me, so I wanted to be nice back. If they're making you feel uncomfortable, ask them to step away, and you can do things nicely. And if they are a respectable person, they should listen to your wishes. Okay. So what I mean by that is if Maria would be here and she comes up to me, and however she comes up to me, she could be asking me for, you know, what time it is, directions, whatever it may be. And I say to all my seminars, and I say it even like my little kids when I teach stranger danger, all that stuff, women's self-defense, all these things. Sometimes people are going to ask you questions just to get close to you. Okay. So don't be afraid. Nobody should have to ask you for directions. Tell them to ask somebody else, right? You don't know the directions, ask somebody else for them. And you don't have to say it mean or rude, but you can say, I'm sorry, I don't know the directions to that. Can you please back away, right? Or you're making me uncomfortable. You're getting a little bit too close. And when somebody is coming up, we have our verbal boundary, but we have our physical. My physical boundary is my self-defense stance. And for my ladies, my women here that are able to move a little bit, we're going to kind of move in this stance in a small area just so you can feel what it's like to get comfortable in this stance. But right away, I put a foot behind me. All right. I just want to make sure you can see my feet as well. So you can see, like, hold on one second. Perfect. All right. So right away, I'm putting a foot behind me for a base. I don't want to just stand normal. I have no base here, right? My hands, we talk about boundaries. I have my verbal boundary. Now I got to put my physical boundary up. That is my hands up like this, right? And I don't close my fist like I'm going to fight. And I don't even teach punches in self-defense. We're going to learn something called a palm heel. It helps protect ourselves. But my hands are open and my foot is behind me. This is a basic self-defense stance. And I'm just looking the person in the eye and I'm just going to tell them, can you please back away? I don't have the directions. You're making me uncomfortable, right? Can you move away? And once again, if they are somebody that is just generally asking for directions, oh, I'm sorry, I was just asking for directions. No problem. If I'm making you uncomfortable, I'll ask somebody else, right? That's all it is. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then we can go on our way. Or if it's somebody just coming up to start a conversation just randomly, right? And they're making us feel uncomfortable. Create the space. Just take a step back and talk with your hands, right? It doesn't have to be aggressive, but it's just they say, excuse me, I'm just hanging out with my friends, or I'm waiting for somebody. I'm just going to do my own thing. If you don't mind leaving me alone, thank you. I appreciate it. Right? Now we're doing things nicely. if they don't get the hint or they're looking for other ways to get introduction and coming closer, we have to raise the voice and the boundary has to be more serious, right? It has to be. If she doesn't respect that and she takes a step in, I said back off, leave me alone. You're making me uncomfortable. I said leave me alone. So once again, if you notice, my voice is raising. My body is backing up. My hands are up. When we raise our voice, right, predators look for easy targets. What are easy targets to start with? Somebody that's not going to have the confidence to stand up for themselves, right? That's number one right away. So as my voice gets raised up, what can that do as I'm raising my voice? Get other people's attention, right? If we're around somewhere or we're outside and all of a sudden predators don't want other people to noticing what's happening, right? So if somebody hears, oh, what's going on? That don't seem normal over there. Let me take a look what's going on. So right away, we want the voice raised and we want to create that boundary. Does that make sense? Yes, good, cool, fantastic. All right, so from anybody, any of the ladies here that can do anything physical or have a little bit of room, let's do this together. And if you don't, like I said, just stay patient, hang tight, because I will be able to watch a couple people here. So we're going to put our hands up and we're going to put our foot behind you. I want the foot behind you should be your power hand. And what I mean by that is if I write with my right hand, I want my right hand behind me. If I write with my left, I want my left hand behind me. So I want your strong hand behind you. And I want you to just move, right? When I say forward, I want you to just kind of come towards the screen. When I say back, move back a little bit and just keep your hands up and it's just a little shuffle, right? Ready? Let me see you come forward a little bit. Forward. Good. Back. Like I said, I know we don't have a lot of space. So even if you're like this much space, you can take one step and then one step. If you can't do a lot of movement, that's perfectly fine. Now I want you to kind of just by yourself, I want you to just kind of move forward and back as best as you can in your area. Go for it. That's it. Just kind of move. Keep your hands up. Make sure your feet, if you can see my legs, don't get crossed up. I'm not stepping, right? I'm shuffling. So I stay in my stance the whole time, right? I want to have a good base as I'm moving. Keep moving. Another 10 seconds. That's excellent. Nice, ladies. Awesome. Hands are up. Fantastic. Time. Relax. Very good. All right. We're going to learn our first strike from that stance. Our goal for palm heels, our goal for striking is hard parts of our body to soft parts of theirs. Eyes, nose, throat, groin. All right. That's what we're looking for. Soft parts of their body, hard parts of ours. The first strike we're going to learn is a palm heel strike. If you just put your hands like this and just do that with your hands. Yes, hard, right? Your palm heel, it's hard. We teach palm heels instead of punching. We do punching in our classes, right? But we put our boxing gloves on when we practice our punching. The reason why we don't like punching in self-defense, because you can have the perfect punch. You could be a professional boxer and have the greatest punch of all time. If you're doing it in the street in self-defense, and I throw one punch to defend myself, and they drop their head one time, and I punch their head right there, that head is very hard. My punch is not going to affect their head, but it will affect my knuckles and my hand. And I can easily, there's a lot of bones in your hands. You can easily break your hand very easily. Even if you throw the best punch, most perfect punch, you can easily break your hand. If you break your hand, that's one less weapon you have to defend yourself with, right? So what we like to do is they're very effective in Krav Maga. They're called palm heel strikes. If I end up missing and hitting their head with a palm heel, guess what? I'm not breaking my hand here. The bones are here. This is what's breaking. The palm heel doesn't break. I'm going to have Maria demonstrate what a palm heel looks like, and then we can practice a little bit in the air, all right? Once again, this palm heel strike would go to the nose. When you see her hit the bag, I hold the bag here by my chest. That's just for my safety. You're not going to actually throw a palm heel to the chest. It's going to go straight to the face right here. So watch Miss Maria here. Make sure we can stay perfect. Ready, go, Miss Maria. Go. Go. That's it. Think of that power coming straight to your face, right? It's going to be effective. Where was her power coming from? It was from her hips. So we just don't use our arms, right? I'm not just using my arms. I'm putting my body into everything I throw, especially being a smaller person and somebody bigger than attacking us. We have to generate as much power as we can. So I want you to practice your palmio. You can do one hand if you want. You could do two hands. Let's just try this for now. Let's just try our power hand. Put the hand that's behind you, and I want you to rotate your hips. And don't go really hard because you're not hitting anything physical. So I don't want you to like hyperextend your elbow or anything, but I just want you to get the motion. See how easy I'm going like this? But I want to get that motion like I'm throwing this palm heel to the face. Practice that, ladies. That's it. Keep your hands up. Nice. I'm going to be looking here. Jessica Hazen. That was really good. That was awesome. Yeah, Jessica. Very good. That's it. Good, Marissa. Marissa, you sitting in your chair right now throwing those palm heels? Oh, okay. I saw the chair behind you. I was going to say, that was impressive too. It's just behind you there. All right, good. Excellent. Good, Denise. Keep it going. We're going to do another strike in a second here. Time, ladies. Awesome. Palm heel strike. Hard part of our hand going straight to the nose area. Next one we're going to throw is a hammer fist. It's going to feel a little awkward in the air, and I'll kind of explain on when you throw a hammer fist because some people that don't train in Krav Maga don't understand the hammer fist. So if I open up my one hand like this and I close my other hand, just go like that, like a hammer. That's your hammer fist right there, right? The meaty part of our hands. Once again, something that we're not going to break, right? If we miss our target, something like that, we don't have to worry about injuring ourselves. Watch Maria here throw these hammer fists so you can see, and then I'll kind of explain what part of the body you would throw it and when you would throw a hammer fist. Ready? Watch her go. Go. Good. Time. Hammer fist strikes downwards. Same thing. It's in the hips. When would we throw a hammer fist? That's what people get confused. If somebody's really tall, like me, I'm not a tall person, so Maria could easily throw a hammer fist at me, right? But a would-be attacker could be a lot taller than us. We're not going to be trying to reach up and throw hammer fist at them. That doesn't make sense. But if all of a sudden, okay, Maria throws, and we'll learn another strike in a little bit, but all of a sudden she throws a groin kick at me, which we'll learn. Boom, she kicks and gets lower. Now it got me down. Now the hammer fist comes into play. Or if I try to move it a little bit, or if I try to reach in and grab her, now the hammer fist comes into play. We're only going to throw it when we get somebody down to our level or below our level. And where can I throw the hammer fist? Same thing. I could go to the nose, go right down to the nose area. You can throw the hammer fist at the collarbone area. You can throw it at their neck as well, coming down on their neck area. So let's practice that hammer fist. We're going to do it from the stance again. And it's this hand. Don't reach back, right? I don't want to reach back. I'm just keeping it right here. And I'm throwing a down hammer fist. There's different ones. There's side hammer fist. There's back hammer fist. Turn that way. We're just throwing the down one. Practice that movement. Same thing. Still the hips. Look at me. I'm not just using my arm, right? I'm turning my body to throw that down. Nice, Teresa. There you go. Good. Luis, go down a little bit more like a hammer, Luis. Bring it down. Yes. Good. Nice, Maria Rosa. Very nice. Good. Time, ladies. Relax. Fantastic. Awesome. 2 strikes right there. We're going to get into a couple more strikes as well and find out where they go. And I want to say this now, just so I don't forget to say it. You're able to do it in the air, which is fantastic. But to really, if you never took a martial arts class before, or even just like a women's self-defense seminar, just something, where you can physically hit something like I have Maria hitting the bags here. It's good to do just so you can feel your power, and it just builds that confidence as well. People don't realize, men and women, they don't realize how strong they really are until they hit something. And it's surprising enough, a lot of people have never hit anything before. And what I mean by that is just hitting pads professionally and safely, right? Do it where somebody knows what they're doing. Do it in a safe spot. Don't just go home and buy something and start hitting it, right? Learn how to do it correctly and practice it, but so you can actually feel it. So even though we don't physically do the moves on each other, because we can't be palm heeling each other's face and hammer each other's face, but hitting the bags, you can generate and feel that power, and it does bring out a lot of confidence. Going, man, I'll really smash somebody's nose with this if I really hit them in the face with it, right? So it definitely comes a long way to definitely build that confidence and get the technique down. And like I said, even if it's a one-time trial thing, just to try to hit something if you never did before. Talking about going back to some mental parts of self-defense. Very important. Going back to being aware of our surroundings, right? What you're wearing, where you're going, all right? Who you're with, not breaking up with the group, right? Not being, if you're going out with your lady friends, having a girls' night, or if you're out with your family, whatever it may be, stick with your group, right? Try not to get broken up. Do the best you can to always be with somebody, whether it's going to the bathroom, whatever it may be. Try to stick around and be with somebody. When we go to restaurants, very important. What's the first thing, restaurants, bar areas, whatever it may be when we're out? And it doesn't take much effort to do this, but what's one of the first things we should be doing when we walk into that place? Does anybody know? I'm just curious. And you can unmute yourself if you want to answer, if anybody knows what I'm thinking or what I want.
Look for exit.
Find
Find your exit.
Boom. Who said it?
Latricia.
Lori, was that you?
Latricia.
Teresa, that was you? All right, good job, Teresa. Fantastic. Yes. Look, know where the exits are. Something so simple and so easy. Look around and look for the exits. If you want to take it to the next level, okay, and like I said, this is just things that we could be aware of. Don't sit with your back towards the front entrance door, right? Wherever they seat you. Don't have your back there. When me and my wife go out to dinner or something like that, I make sure that if we are at a table where the entrance is the area, I'm always facing the entrance. I want to see what's going on, right? I want to be able to see who's walking in and out the door. I don't like my back facing it. Even though she can see what's happening, I just trust me a little bit more to watch what's happening, right? So, and that's like taking it to another level. You don't always have to do that, but it's something that makes me feel a little comfortable of just being able to see what's happening. But the exits, more importantly than anything, know where those exits are. It doesn't take much to know what's happening. And that's anything, whether, mass shooting situations, of course, nowadays, which is super scary, know where that exit is and get to that exit. But even just fire, stuff like that. And it's the same thing at home. Have a plan at home with your family, right? Make sure they talk about fire escapes and stuff like that, a fire plan. It's all the same thing. An intruder, know your plan for if an intruder were to come in, what are we doing? And this is, once again, as a family, you talk about these things and you set plans. And before you go out, there should be plans set. Hey, if we end up breaking up, this is what we mean. Things are a lot different now with cell phones and GPS trackers on the phone. So it's a little bit of a different era than we used to talk about. All right. We have a lot more ways to be safer, but still have that plan out, still have those rendezvous, especially if somebody's phone might die or something goes haywire, you still have something to meet up and have that plan. So yes, know your exits, extremely important. What are you wearing when you go out? They did, and every women's self-defense seminar, I say this, I never want women to feel like they shouldn't be allowed to get dressed up and feel good about themselves and have a great night out. It's just more be aware, right? That's all it is when you're wearing something out. When they went, the FBI did interviews with rapists in jail, right? And they were saying they were just doing this for data. And the data they were trying to get is just more of like, how can we prevent people from getting raped? And these guys were telling them what they were looking for. And does anybody know what some of the things that they might have been looking for? Anybody in particular? Long hair, right? Long hair, something to grab. Am I telling you to go and shave your heads and don't wear? No, of course not. But just remember, that is a weapon for them to reach and grab, right? Long hair. Easy, accessible outfits to rip, right? Jeans are a little bit harder for them than skirts and things like that, right? Same thing. Not telling you don't wear that. Just be aware of the type of outfit you're wearing, because it does put targets for predators on you. Easy access, that's what they're looking for. And like I said before about predators, they are looking for maybe somebody wandering off, alone, confused, not paying attention, all those things. So keep that in mind as well. Any questions about anything before we move on? We're going to do another strike, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about some what the predators want and what we can do to help ourselves out. Does anybody have any questions at all? All right, cool. Let's go to another strike. You ready? Let's do it. So the next strike we're going to do is an in-close strike. So the first two we did were hand strikes, right? Hand strike is like medium range level. Hand strike. I don't want to be in this range. This is a bad zone for me. Yes, I can hit to defend myself, but they can also hit me. I don't want to be in this range. I want to be out. If I get caught in here, we have our palm heels, we have our hammer fist. The next strike we're going to throw, we're going to go low to a knee. The knee can go to different places. It could go to the body. It could go to the face. If somebody was like reaching down and grabbing us, bring the knee up to the face. But where we're going to throw it right now is to the groin. We're going low to the groin area. The knee is an in-close strike. Where Maria is and I'm at right now, she's not going to throw a knee. She's not in knee striking range, right? So I have to be in close. That's when she's in knee striking range. And it's very simple. You're lifting it up and you're throwing it. So let's practice. When we learn self-defense, we learn things from neutral position. I don't teach anything in neutral in the very beginning. Neutral is important because you don't walk around the streets like this, right? And going around. You're not always in that stance to defend yourself. Sometimes you might be standing there and can get grabbed. And then you have to defend, right? But I want you to be aware that we do learn from this position, and you should learn from this position. But to properly throw the techniques, I like to start in an actual stance. It helps you really generate the power and get a good feel for the techniques. So put your hands up, put your foot behind you. I'm going to have Maria demonstrate from you real quick. Forgot that part, right? Ready? So watch, so you can see what she does, and then I'll show you how to do it in the air. So Maria's throwing that groin strike knee. Right there. Just coming up. So I want you to practice very simple. These are all simple things that we can do. Just picking up and throw. That's it. Practice it, ladies. Make sure you don't lose your balance. Keep your hands up still.
Jessica, looks good. Nice, Bertha.
Keep practicing. That's it. Good, Denise. Good time. All right. Maria Rosa looking good. Time. Fantastic. Relax. So we have a groin strike with a knee. Now we're going to do a groin strike with a front kick. And I'll show you how that goes. Be very careful and do it very easy. So the groin strike with the knee is in close, right? Somebody grabbing us. We're in close. The groin strike with the front kick is a little bit farther out of range. And all we're doing is, it doesn't take much technique. She's just picking it up and she's throwing it upwards. Really simple. I like to say you're kicking a field goal, right? Boom, right up between the legs. If you end up missing your target and hit their leg here, just keep going up. You're going to hit your target, right? Just go ride it all the way up to the groin. So watch Maria right here. What you're hitting with this part you're trying to hit with your shin. That's what we're trying to do. You can hit with your instep as well. You basically have this whole thing right here, that whole area. So watch Maria, go for it. One more. There's our groin strike. So I want you to do it easy. I don't want anybody falling by accident or hurting anything. So watch how easy I'll do it in the air. Just picking it up and bringing it up, right? I don't have to throw it very hard. I'm not putting any energy or effort into it. I'm just working the motion of lifting my leg. I'm not lifting it high. I'm not going high, right? Because it's not high. It's going low. Practice it. Keep your hands up as you do it. Good, Jessica. That's it. Time. Relax, relax. Cool. So we have so far strikes, palm heels to the nose, hammer fist, nose, neck, collarbone area, getting down to our level, knee strike to the groin, and a front kick to the groin. Sensitive areas. We're going to learn some eye strikes as well in a little bit too, that we can work on as well. I want to go back to talking about the predators, right? Two types of predators, a resource predator and a process predator. The resource, both are bad, of course, but one's way worse than the other. And I'm going to explain how. And we have to realize if we get caught in a situation we have to know what type of predator we're dealing with, because it's going to be a totally different situation. The resource predator is somebody that wants something from us. That's it. They want your jewelry. They want your pocketbook. They want your car. They want something physical from you, right? Give me all your money. Give me this. Give me that. Give it to them. Nothing is worth more. And I say this and you know it, and everybody knows it. Nothing's more, no valuables, no matter how precious and how much it means to you, is worth more than your life, right? But even though I say it, people still don't acknowledge it. They still will defend themselves for a couple $100 for a special chain that their husband bought them or their mother, whatever it may be. Yes, I understand it's valuable, right? But it's not more valuable than your life, okay? So the resource predator wants something from you. If they want something, give it to them. If you give it to them, if they're a true resource predator, they're out of there. They take what they want and they go, right? Hands are washed, scary experience. Hopefully, whatever it may be, but we gave them what they wanted. We listened, and that was it. Process predator, all right? They don't want anything from you. That's what makes them the scariest of all. They don't want anything. You can't give them the amount of money in the world or jewelry or your car or nothing. They just look for violence, right? They just want to beat you, rape you, abduct you, whatever it may be they want to do. And that's where the different thing goes, where we have to know, okay, this is going to be a fight for my life. Or no matter what I give this person, it is not happening. Never get moved. That is very important. You never get moved to another location. Well, they had a gun. I had to go with them. No, you're not going with them. They had a knife. They told me they would drop me off after they drove this way or drove that. Nope, you're not going with them. You fight for your life right then and there, no matter what. Percentages of survival rate after you move from a location drop to 15%. So once you get moved to another location from where you were originally attacked at, your percentages of survival drop to 15%. You do not listen and say and believe that they will drop you off and this, that. You can't take that chance or that risk, right? You have to fight for your life then and there. It's a mindset. Always remember that. Self-defense is a mindset. Whether you know moves or you don't know moves, you have to put the mindset in your head that says, no matter what, I'm going to go home to my family today, right? No matter what. And that means you're doing anything you have to do. And that's kicking, that's screaming, that's fighting for your life, right? making it as hard as you can. I know there was a video, I always use like different examples of just like mindset and what we could do, even if we don't have that experience, right? There was a video circulating. I know we're kind of all over, so I don't know if this was just like a video in my area, in like the Philly area, or it might have been all over. But it was a lady went to the gym, and it was like an apartment gym or a hotel gym, whatever it may have been. So like you needed a key card to get in type thing. And she was the only one in the gym working out. And guy was like knocking on the door. She unfortunately made the mistake of letting that person in. Now, if he had a key card, that means he was there and he could have got in, right? But she was like, oh, made a mistake of letting that person in. There's strike number one in that situation. He ended up attacking her, right? Attacking her, trying to rape her and things like that. And she did everything of just fighting, just hitting, punching, calling, scratching, screaming, running, everything she could do. And she ended up getting away. Once again, she had that mindset of just continuing the fight. Another situation happened where a lady was off at a rest stop. A guy, broke into the stall and just tried to start raping her. Same situation, fighting, kicking, screaming, eye gouging, biting, whatever it takes to get out of these situations. All right. Remember also, what do we talk about predators? Quick, easy access. They don't want to mess around with you for a while. They're not there to wrestle with you. And they want they want somebody that's going to give in. They don't want a fight. They want it quick. The more noise we make, the more problems we give them, the harder it's going to be. Your goal in self-defense is to create enough space and enough time to get yourself out of there. Space and time. That's what we need in self-defense. Space, enough space to go and run, enough time where it takes too much time and they bounce themselves, they just get out of there, or somebody else is coming to help us, right? So that's what we're looking for. So just a reminder of the two types of predators and also having that mindset. I kind of rolled in the two into the one there, but it's just very important to have that, the fighting aspect of just, having that mindset of survival. And the second thing is knowing what type of predator we're dealing with and never get moved to another location. Okay. So really important things. I'm going to show you some other stuff now. You can do it in the air as best as you can. It might feel a little funny doing it in the air, but you can still, if you can use your imagination and do it, go for it. I'm going to show you, well, Maria's going to show you a couple like escapes from grabs. Some, at least you can see it and visualize it. Like I said, to really get this stuff, it takes repetition. It takes actual training, right? But even if you take one thing today, that's a good thing. You learn something, that's good. And more importantly, I always say it's great to have the physical tools for self-defense. That's good. And they're important, obviously. But the mental is just as important or more important, right? So let me go over a throat grab, right? So I'm Maria here. So we've learned some striking. We learned knees, we learned kicks. I want to do the eye gouge strike too, and I'll still do that with you eye pokes in a second. But we'll go into a two-hand throat grab. Maria, I have my hands on Maria's throat. First thing she's going to do is control one of my hands. So she grabs the hand and she grabs like the meaty part inside of my hand right here. There you go. All right, perfect. And so she grabs the hand. The next movement is her arm goes over her head right there. So let's turn just so you can see a little bit. So her arm goes over her head right there. And what she's doing is she's not attacking the strong part, right? So go grab the hand and kind of, don't go do it correctly. Do it like against my arm, right? She's not trying to go against my arm. That's a loose situation, especially when somebody's bigger and stronger than you. So here she goes up and over. Now she's attacking my wrist area where when she turns, I have no chance of holding on there because we're attacking here, not the arms, not the big parts of their body, weaker parts, right? So controls the hand, reaches up and over and turns. Now as she turns, this is where striking, more accurate striking comes involved and things like that to follow up. But right now, even if you're in the air right now, you can practice and you can do it with me. Hands come up, grab the one hand, reach the other hand over your head. And I always like to say, my fingers are pointing this way. That's which way you're going to go. Boom. And then we can drop the arm down and you can just move away from there without striking, right? So Maria's gonna watch you a little bit and what's that? Gotcha. All right, ready? So we're here, hands come up. Control the hands. Up and over the head. This, my shoulder is against my ear. That's very important. There's no space. It's here. I want that, and try this next time when with your significant other or a friend or something like that, right? Where they should feel a pinch if you do it correctly. When they're attacking you and have their hands around your throat, if you do it correct, they'll feel a pinch on their hand. And then you turn which way your hand is pointed. I turn, and then I bring my arm down. Like that. Yes. I'll do it again. Maria's going to watch you a little bit.
Can we see you guys do it together again?
Of course. We'll do both sides. I'll do it on this side and we'll turn the other way as well. She controls the hand. She reaches up and over. She's going to turn. And there's the escape. And then we always like to say, clear the arm down. And that just clears it down. She's already escaped here. She's out. She just holds on to this hand for control for her to follow up strike. Right? For her striking. We don't have to worry about that now. We're just working on the escapes. Go on this side. Yeah. Control, raise, turn. Right? There's our strikes. Keep practicing. Raise your hands up. Grab. Over. Turn. Don't turn your back though. I'm not turning my back. I'm turning to the side. Yes, good. That's it, Marcy. Laura, turn a little bit more to the side, Laura, if you can. That way. Go for it, Laura. Yeah, Laura, that's it. Nice. Time. Fantastic. Basic throat grab. Obviously, hard to learn over the computer when, physical, but trying to just get the concept of controlling and bringing that hand up and over and turning. That move is called a shoulder break. The reason why I like to teach the shoulder break is, let me grab it real quick, Miss Marie, is if she grabs the front, I can escape. If she grabs the back, I can escape. If she goes to the side, I can escape. I just did 3 different escapes with the same move of just bringing my arm over my head and turning. The shoulder break, I like that one because we're not going against power. Because remember, you're going to lose that battle, right? Always think somebody that's attacking you, they're going to be stronger and bigger than you. Always have that mindset of when you're training. This person's smaller and bigger than me. Even if I'm training with Maria, I'm bigger and stronger than her, but I still want to have the mindset of that she's a 230-pound man attacking me, right? It doesn't matter because I need to have that perfect technique every single time. I can, yes, if you're bigger than somebody, you can use your power to escape, but you want to have the technique down because when somebody's bigger than you, the power's not going to work. All right. One more I'm going to do with Maria because she's actually got to get going. So let me grab you one more. We're not going to do this one. I'm just going to demonstrate it with her so you can kind of get a visual of it, but I'm not going to have you try to practice it or anything like that, just so you can say, and then I want to do the eye strikes with you. So we're going to go behind. Hair pull, number 1, right? Women, hair pull. Bad news. Very tough to deal with. Very, very, very hard to escape. If somebody has your hair and they're pulling you this way and that way, you have no control. You're going where they're taking you. Remember that, right? How do you prevent it? Back hair pull, it's tough to prevent, right? If somebody's coming from behind, if she doesn't know I'm behind her and I go and yank, she's not preventing that. Same thing with hoods, right? It's the same thing. If somebody's going to yank you from behind and you don't know they're behind you, you're not going to be able to prevent it. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to minimize the damage as best as we can, and we're trying to gain a little bit of control back, right? So she's going to do it slow. When I grab the hair as I pull, she actually surprisingly you would think for self-defense, we want to go away from the person. She actually comes with me. So when I pull her, she turns into me. She hooks my arm. We call that a latch. She latches on. She's not trying to break the hold because she's not going to be able to break it. But what she's doing is just gaining some control back, right? So now that she's latched onto me really tight here, it's harder for me. Notice how her neck is not moving like it was. Her body's moving, but notice how her head, how still that is, right? So without the latch, look at her neck, her head. Your head and neck are going this way. So the latch is extremely important to say, well, what happens when we get to here? Remember the palm heels we did to the face? All she does is turn them upside down and she throws them to the groin. She's already in tight. She's already connected to me. What is she going to have next? There's her knees, right? Striking to the groin. And you're hitting. If that person keeps pulling you, you're going with them the whole time and you're hitting them the whole time. And you're staying connected to them the entire time. That's cool. It's the same thing. If I grab her from the front, I grab in front of her. Boom, she latches and she goes. She comes right into me. As I pull, she's coming right in. It's the same thing. Remember I was talking about the shoulder break? If from the side, boom, she turns and she faces me. That's her goal every time with the hair pull. Attacking that arm that's grabbing you, latching on. And people ask me, well, what is the correct arm to use? It doesn't matter. All right. Yes, D. Dave, wherever you're at, yes, that will help you escape easily with that. Very nice. So those are just some basic escapes. Once again, repetition takes practice. Let's do one more strike, okay? And Maria's got to teach another class, so I'm going to let her say bye to you guys.
Bye, guys. Good job.
Thanks, Maria. Appreciate it. I just figure I'd get you out of there. That's it. All right, cool. All right, one more strike. Then I'll open it up to any questions or anything. Eye strikes. Eyes don't have muscles, right? It's not as easy as people think to poke somebody in the eye. You're not doing like a 2-finger, but also it's not as hard either because we're just kind of clawing and trying to poke straight at the eyes. What I like to do to teach an eye strike, make a number 4, and you're going and you're just trying to hit to the eyes right there. Number 4 and go into the eyes. I'm trying to get one of these. All I need is one, right? I need one finger to hit an eye. So that's what I'm looking for. So you can practice your eye strikes just right in there, just hitting, right? Oh, and you don't need the power because the eyes don't have muscle. So I don't need to like rotate and throw it as hard as I can. It's just quick, hitting to the eyes. But remember, your goal is to try to take those eyes out. Imagine putting your finger through their eyes. That's what you're thinking in self-defense. You're gouging those eyes out, 4 fingers, and you're going for them, right? That's it. Make sure, I like to spread the fingers out to try to get as much, we're trying to nick that eye. Get anything we can from it. Good. Make sure it's straight on or tumbling down, wherever you have to do with it. Cool. Time. Nice job, everybody. Does anybody have any questions before we finish up? Anything? If you're writing, I don't know how to get to the writing stuff. Marie, oh, here it says chat. So if you are writing anything. All right. All right.
On that, I don't see anything.
All right, perfect. Now you're good. I found the chat. Yeah, you're fine. Good. Ladies, thank you for having me. I appreciate that. Oh, sorry. Carrying person. Oh, awesome. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes I miss some things and Luis, thank you for mentioning that. I'm glad you just wrote that. Where's Luis at? Where you at, Luis? Thank you, Luis. Luis said carry a siren, right? You have a siren, you said, Luis? Awesome. Anytime, remember, anytime you have anything, I'm glad you mentioned that because I forgot sometimes, and I have my paper with me so I don't forget things. Like I always like take a look. Like I said, I've been doing women's self-defense seminars for 20 years, and sometimes I, forget some stuff. But Luis, thank you. If you have any type of weapons, whether you carry a firearm legally, Whether you have mace, people always say, should I carry mace around or anything like that? Yeah, go for it. You know, whatever you're legally allowed to carry, if you have it, that's fantastic. But here's the thing, know how to use it. Just because you have a weapon, if you don't know how to use it, it becomes useless to you, right? I'd rather, if I had a mace in my hand right now and I literally did not know how to use it and never sprayed it once, that is just detriment to me. I'd rather be able to hit and strike somebody because I know I can do that. So if you have a mace, obviously if you carry a gun, okay, if you're licensed to carry, you should know your gun. You should go to the shooting range, right? You have to practice with it. Safety, weapon safety is extremely important. Mace, go outside in your yard, set up a target, know the range on how to spray it, right? And also, if you do carry something, they make some cool things now for runners. I seen where like it's like a thumb thing, and like it's just like they're running with it, and anytime they could just kind of shoot and spray it. Those are really cool. Whatever can give you an advantage, of course, right? Luis said with the siren, what is the siren going to do? It's not going to hurt them, but that noise is going, right? And then we have to fight while that noise is going off. That's a good one as well. Don't have things buried in your bags. Wait, somebody's attacking me. Right? Going, it's too late. Okay. Already have it prepared. If you're feeling uncomfortable somewhere, have it prepared, know where it's at, and most importantly, know how to use it. Don't carry something you don't know how to use or you never used before, because then it might just go against you. People always say, like, I even have friends saying for self-defense, like, oh, like I got my bat at home. I'll hit him with a bat. Yeah, you know how to hit a baseball with a bat. You were a great baseball player in high school. Have you ever swung a bat at somebody's head, actually? Oh, no, of course not. It's not going to go as well as they think it's going to go, right? So make sure you know how to use whatever type of weapon you have, if you have one. Another thing too that, like I said, came to my head before we finish up is, and these are just mental things that you already know, but if you are ever going like shopping, you're by yourself and the parking lot feels uncomfortable, a little bit darker than you think, a little less crowded, whatever it may be, okay, and you don't feel comfortable going outside, ask somebody that works at the building to walk you out. Don't feel like, oh, like I don't need to do that. My car's right there. I don't need to ask somebody. I'm just going to run to my car real quick and open. Like, no, if you feel that uncomfortable, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, ma'am. Would you mind walking me out to my car? I don't feel comfortable going out to the parking lot by myself. There's not one worker that should say no to that. And if they do, maybe because they're busy, they would probably say, I'm sorry, I'm going to get somebody for you for that, right? And just wait a second if you have, I'd rather wait a couple minutes and wait for somebody to come walk me out than risk my life if I feel uncomfortable. And same thing when you're coming from restaurant or like different shoppings and you have the bags and you're loading into the car, be aware of your surroundings, right? Know what's happening when you're loading them in, have your keys in hand. When you get in the car, I know a lot of cars now lock automatically, which is great. But if they don't, make sure you're locking your doors right when you get in your car. Don't stick around and hang out, play them, like pick what music you want on and stuff like that. I'm not saying you have to peel out, but let's put it into gear and let's start moving a little bit, right? Don't camp out on your car and get all the stuff, all the music ready and things like that. All right.
Fred, we do have one question from Jackie. Has her hand
Yes,
up.
Jackie, what do we got?
What happens if somebody's wearing glasses and you want them in the eye? How do you get their glasses off first?
If they're wearing glasses, once again, if you know how glasses work, I used to wear glasses. If I'm in a fight or if I was training martial arts in the glasses and somebody was trying to attack me and smack me around and hit me, those glasses aren't going to stay on, right? So, but I'm not going to make my four fingers and try to poke through the glasses, right? But maybe when I'm defending myself and I'm just hitting, I'm palm healing. And if you even notice, I'm not even throwing like something perfect. I'm just kind of swatting and, defending. Maybe my hands are defending, boom. And I'm just kind of, they're going to come off. And if they don't come off, get them in the nose, right? Striking them, things like that. But it's going to be difficult for glasses to stay on if we're getting just as physical and we're defending ourselves, right? If we're being more compliant, and then you're trying to like sneak attack an eye poke, obviously that's not going to work, right? But we're talking about more of like right away, it's a fight for your life. I'm not trying to sneak attack anything. I'm hitting you in the face. I'm hitting you in the groin. I'm doing whatever I have to do right away. Anything else? Cool. All right.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Fred. A lot of good comments from the chat. I think people really enjoyed this, and it was a great introduction on how we can protect ourselves if something ever to happen. So I want to thank you and Maria for joining us today, and thank you for all the participants for hopping on. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you guys. Anytime. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, now this turns off. Oh, I leave. Okay.